Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Super Saiyan Trunks future and Gohan. Like, this is the best thing to ever happen. So I'm super excited. Obviously everyone should know I'm a huge Trunks and future Gohan fan. I love these units so much. Like, these characters are my favorite characters. Just outright the best information ever. So this is Hope at the end of a deadly future. Super Saiyan Trunks. We're going to take a look at him. Obviously, categories wise, he's on a ton. Being a hybrid Saiyan, Future Saga, Miraculous Awakening, Entrusted Will, Battle of Fate, etc. All, stock standard stuff. Then, leader skill wise, he leads Time Travelers, which is okay. Time Travelers, you've got Perfect Cell, you've got, Trunks himself. Interesting thing is Trunks does not lead Gohan as far as I'm aware, so this Trunks can't run Gohan, but Gohan can run Trunks, so that's kind of interesting, which I guess technically makes Gohan more valuable, but it's interesting to see. Then we have on his super attack, his 12 key, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, and on his 18 key he raises defense permanently, greatly raises attack for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage. His passive skill, he activates entrance animation once only, has key +3 and launches an additional attack. There's a great chance of becoming a super attack for 4 turns from the start of turn. Key +3, attack and defense of 150%, plus an additional attack of 100% when performing a super attack, plus an additional key +1 up to 5 and defense 10 up to 50% with each attack performed. Reduces damage received by 10% within the same turn with each super attack performed. So that's very interesting. Plus an additional attack of 100% and launches an additional attack. There's a high chance of becoming a super attack as a second or third attacker in the turn, or launches an additional attack. There's a high chance of becoming a super attack starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. So the big thing with him is obviously, he basically is fully reliant on wanting to do additional super attacks. He's got a great chance baked in from the very beginning. If you stick him in the 2nd or 3rd slot, he also has a high chance of launching a super attack as well, and then he also gets a guaranteed one or another high chance from the 5th turn. So he's got additionals pretty nicely baked into his kit, so crit's probably the best with a bit of additional to proc that 3rd or 4th super. Standby skill, stands by for 4 turns, during which charge count increases by 1 per attack performed by allies, which is very interesting and can be activated from the 5th turn, so very low requirements. When in his Super Saiyan Trunks standby mode, he raises defense for 1 turn. On his 12 key, on his 18 key, raises defense and greatly raises attack for 1 turn. His passive becomes key +12, attack and defense at 200%, plus an additional attack of 150% when performing a super attack. He launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, and reduces damage received by 50% for 1 turn from the start of turn. Guards all attacks and launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack as the first attacker in the turn, and launches an additional super attack with 5 or more key spheres obtained. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. So definitely becomes very, very interesting. If we look here, the standby skill stands by for 4 turns, during which charge count increases by 1 per attack by allies. So here, he gets basically a great chance of having an additional super attack. He also reduces damage received by 50% for 1 turn, has guarding all attacks and launches an additional attack that has a great chance as the first attacker in the turn. So super defensive in his first turn out. The 2nd turn he still has guard, and then his finish effect, he raises attack by 50% temporarily per charge count and causes super ultimate damage to the enemy. Can be activated when charge count is 1 or more. So obviously, depending on how many super attacks have been done by your allies, he could do a huge number of damage. Very interesting unit. We'll take a look at his animations after we take a look at Gohan. So next one is Future Gohan, and he actually has a really cool sub card art with him and Piccolo and Goku. So this is some Dokkan original animations, at least I think. Maybe some video game references. On a few less categories than Trunks, of course, but also on a decent chunk and leads Future Saga, which, yes, we got plenty Future Saga leads, but means that he includes pretty much every unit that's just come out during the celebration, which is pretty big. Super attack effects, he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his 12 key. massively raises attack on his 18 key and greatly raises defense for 1 turn. In terms of his passive, he activates the entrance animation upon entry once only. Key plus 5 and reduces damage received by 40% for 5 turns from the start of turn. Key plus 3 and attack and defense of 158%. Has an additional key plus 1 up to 5 and attack and defense of 20% up to 100% with each attack performed. Reduces damage received by 20%, plus an additional damage reduction of 20%, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming super attack when key is 18 or more. Launches an additional super attack when key is 20 or more, and creates the domain City Future Rainy for 5 turns starting from the 5th turn from the start of turn. While the domain is up, changes in key spheres to strength at the start of his attacking turn and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill when key is 24. So there's a lot to unpack here. So he's kind of similar to Tech Zamasu in a few ways. So he's got that additional 40% damage reduction for the first 4 turns. He has a flat 20% himself. He gets an additional 20% and launches an additional attack that's a high chance of becoming super when key is 18 or more. So if your key is 18 or more, he has 40% damage reduction. He gets an additional key plus 1, attack and defense of 20% up to 100%, self-explanatory. Now, if you get to 20 key, he launches a guaranteed additional. So again, a character you can kind of build full crit, realistically speaking. Then his active skill massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to the enemy, gets key plus 5 and defense of plus 20% in battle. So this is very interesting. It's a flat 20% increase in his key, or in his defense, and an increase in his key permanently, which is very interesting because that could basically secure him having additional supers. So very, very cool stuff. I think overall he looks really, really solid. Very cool. He's kind of like very similar in design to the Zamasu. It feels, except obviously instead of being hit, his basis is him firing super attacks. Both him and Trunks look very, very good. I'm super excited to see where we go from here and how their banner works. There is some more information. So the domain ability increases damage received by extreme class enemies and allies by 30%, which is really, really solid as well. It's basically the inverse of Zamasu. And then there's been some announcements of the Extreme Z Awakenings, which are going to be very interesting to see. And yeah, obviously we'll have to look. It looks like the banner is also in the format that both are on one banner, so it could be interesting to see as well. We'll have to wait for that to be confirmed. And then, yeah, let's take a look at the animations. So, yeah, pretty cool animations. Just gonna kind of let them play out with minimal commentary. But I do think Trunks is look good. I think probably 8 out of 10 for me. I think they could have done a little bit more work on the like final slash, but I think overall looks excellent. Really good stuff. And yeah, yeah, just kind of let them play. I think they're awesome, man. Like really good stuff. Remember, it all gets played at probably 1.5 times. This is the standby skill. This looks great to me. Oh my god. Well, that looks so good. Oh, that looks so good. And this is the finished skill effect.
I'll never let you destroy our will to live!
And this is Future Gohan, and these look custom. These look insane. These look insane. This Kamehameha that he does here is nuts. Well, I don't think it's a Kamehameha, but not this one. The next one that he does. I think it's active skill that he does, or is it his 18 key? Could be his 18 key. This one here, this is crazy. This is the missing. This is the special beam cannon, which is great. I actually really am happy that they made him do that. Yes. So this is the domain, and then this is the active skill, which looks crazy. Like actually insane.
I will defeat you!
Man, that looks so good. And this is so dope.
Stop acting like a pampered baby, Gohan! I know you've got more power in you!
That's so awesome, man. That's crazy.